Welcome. I'm gonna take a sip, and I'm gonna stare at the camera blankly for a little bit. You can start the show. You start.
Can I?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Welcome, guys. Welcome to State of the Beanstalk. I'm Casper from Game with Casper, and this is
Hungover Pat.
Hungover Pat. Yep. Slow news week this week, guys.
Nothing's happening.
Nothing too exciting
Nothing's
happened.
going on.
Yeah, just a small release of the
Yeah. Some
Nvidia
card?
Some
Nvidia
card? Yeah. Like
oh,
3
Nvidia
cards.
released a card? Oh,
Yeah.
nah, we didn't hear about that. But we'll try and sort of look into it, right? But we might have a few other topics. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll see.
Is there a lot going on in the news?
I don't think so. No, I think it was just.
Witcher's
Yeah.
coming to.
Oh yes, The Witcher's coming to the PS5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next gen. And it's going to be great. And it's going to be fantastic.
Free upgrade.
Don't drink and stream. Well,
Too late for that.
it was like kind of, was that not Captain Obvious, but you know when you make a mistake and you go, oh, well, you shouldn't have done that mistake. What's the word for that?
Captain.
Oh, it's not Captain, but it's from
What?
South Park.
Oh, right.
When you make a
I don't know.
mistake and it's Captain... Oh, anyway, I'll remember it. I'll remember it. Welcome to the State of the Beanstalk.
The life is just drained out of you.
we have a lot of news.
It must be because of the announcement, nothing else.
I don't know if you guys saw the announcement live. That was excellent. But I think what was more excellent was Casper's reaction video to the announcement reaction video. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do remember that.
I laughed. 40 minutes of laughter.
I had a good. That was such a weird experience because I was so sad that I missed it.
Yeah,
So I was
yeah.
like, I want to relive it, but I'm gonna be like the future Casper. And so basically, I'm like, the only way to experience this is through your actual stream. So I was like the future Casper, and I was like trying to talk to you at the same time.
I didn't. When I was watching it, and I mentioned, "Oh, sorry, Casper couldn't be here with us," and you're like, "I'm right here, man. I'm right here." Everybody's saying Captain Obvious, but it's not. It's from South Park. It's like when you make a mistake, and somebody says, "Oh, Captain Hindsight." That's it.
Oh, hindsight, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, found it, remembered it. So we're going to talk about RTX and what it really means, and what I think it means, and what you think it means. We'll talk some teraflops. We'll talk some numbers. We'll talk some pricing. We might even talk about what you should get.
Yeah.
But we don't want to force you into anything. We're not forceful in that regard. We will talk about
Everything,
AMD.
Everything Jensen.
Everything Jensen. I loved his kitchen. Do you not love his kitchen?
Nice. I feel like the designers who did the cards were the ones that designed his kitchen as well.
Okay, so you know how he took the card
Yeah.
from behind the the spatulas?
Oh yes. Oh, was it like behind like a jar or something?
Yeah.
Oh, filled with spatulas. Right.
The man
yeah.
has a lot of spatulas.
He does.
Like when he showed that, the first thing I saw, oh, that's the card. That looks cool because we've already seen renders of it.
Yeah.
But man, what do you need those spatulas for? Like that's a lot of spatulas.
So he's either really into baking or his wife is, or like both, or they have like a baking thing at home.
When you cook, right, how many
Yeah.
meals are you making that each spatula needs to be like completely separate than the last one, and you like wash it like?
I don't know. I reckon he has like big parties. He's a billionaire after all. He probably has like lots of people over at his house.
Everybody comes in, it's like, here's your spatula,
Yeah,
here's your spatula.
Welcome to the party.
All right, let's get into it. Let's play the intro, and then we can get started on our list.
Okay.
And we're back.
Hey.
We're just talking about Tintel
Oh, yes.
and the disgusting logo that we talked
From
about last week.
yeah.
And welcome everyone. We've got a lot of questions. Hammy, good to see you, mate. Bakir, Andreas, MMBB9. Retro Games, good to see you again. Geordie, welcome, mate. And I think that's all the names I see so far. So let's start with the very obvious. Jensen is an amazing salesperson. I don't know if that's what you guys were expecting me to say, but
he's a solid businessman, obviously electrical engineer, and he's the co-founder of NVIDIA.
Yeah,
he's the CEO.
So the man has a way about him that sold a lot of people on the event itself on the card before even seeing a lot of we haven't even seen the frames, and people are losing their heads over how RTX is performing. Because remember, we've only seen results from NVIDIA. We haven't actually seen any independent reviewers. Yes. Digital Foundry did a bit. We'll talk about that also today. But overall, we've only seen things from NVIDIA. So take that with a pinch of salt until people like Linus gets their hands on it, and Gamers Nexus. Obviously, that I think they're probably the most detailed ones. And Antec,
Hardware Canucks.
And Tom's Hardware.
Tom's Hardware.
Good ones,
Good one.
So, with that in mind, what we'll be talking about is based on NVIDIA's presentation and what we saw with Digital Foundry.
Yeah.
A little bit more about the man, because my profession is in sales, and I really liked the way he spoke. He was captivating, and I know you skipped through a few bits, but
I did, yeah. I was like, get to the good stuff.
And we'll get to the good stuff too. I think a lot of the stuff he talked about was really impressive. So, do you want to start with the stuff that's not the graphics card, the extra things
things that we saw?
Yeah.
All right. I'm trying to think of it in a chronological
we'll
order.
try and do that.
What was some of the first stuff? Because he was talking about frames. Like he had the difference between like the 144 and the 200, because they were advertising their 360 hertz monitor, right?
Right. So that was the latency conversation. Yeah. So they're putting in some hardware into the new cards that will reduce the latency between the visual.
Oh, yes. Yeah. We saw the curve, the graph.
Yeah. And that's something that nobody has brought up for a long time. Latency used to be looked at, okay, you've got latency from your input, so your mouse has latency. Yep. And then your CPU has latency, and that all sort of adds up. But then your monitor has latency too.
Yes.
And NVIDIA brought out that premium NVIDIA chip into the monitor, which reduces that latency quite substantially, but it required that extra hardware bit inside the monitor. And so now you've got the latency that's in this case, which isn't related to a lot of that. It's actually just overall performance latency.
Yeah.
And so what we're seeing here is that they're pinpointing certain processes that they can improve, and this is also in the DLSS conversation that we'll talk about in a little bit more. And I think you know a little bit more about DLSS than me.
Just a little bit, I think.
But that improvement, I think, I know a lot of people were like, oh, whatever, like it's good, but it'll go a long way for them to sell these cards to esports titles. G'day, Yellow.
Hey, Yellow.
So those cards will probably be what esports people are going to be using. And guess what? That's how they sell more, because a lot of athletes, Nike, it's the same idea. Esports people, if they say that they use an NVIDIA card, you're going to buy an NVIDIA card. Well, some people will buy an NVIDIA card.
Yeah. Speaking of esports, when they were talking about latency, and they had the Fortnite commercial, and I was like, these graphics are so horrible. You have these ultimate super powerful cards, and you're showing this super ultra chunky game advertising money. It just shows how much of a hold Fortnite has over somebody like NVIDIA, because they are catering to millions and millions of gamers, and obviously a good portion of them are on Fortnite.
Yes. But I'd like to add that Epic Games, or the owners of Fortnite, are actually also putting in a bit of an effort. I think it goes both ways. You need a game that's going to promote every single one of your new hardware's features in a way that's going to see the largest audience.
Yeah, the biggest customer base, for sure.
And right now, Fortnite is it. They have one of the biggest audiences around, and that is it. And most of those people will want to buy the newest graphics card to improve their frame rates and, be better than the other Fortnite person. So the camera, tell MMB9 about the camera, because that's actually a different camera that we use at my place.
He's asking, is your camera 720p? Looks not very sharp. YouTube says the video is already 1080p. Oh, that's strange. So I'm using the Sony A6400.
Oh, I know why. I know why.
Yeah.
I think the it's looking at this.
Oh, right. So it's making us look blurry.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
Do you want to just see if you can move it forward a little bit?
The camera?
Yeah, the camera. And just try and pan it on our faces. Because look, see,
Oh,
we're
yes,
blurry.
Look at the microphone.
But the microphone
like
is
perfect.
perfect.
What if we bring the mic here?
Oh, wow.
Is that better?
Well, I think we're much better now.
That's gonna be like ultra loud.
Yeah,
so
I might just turn us down a little bit. But thanks for telling us that. We're a bit slow on that sometimes.
Yeah. Especially hungover mode over here.
Excuse me. So I'll just share a screen for the sake of having something on screen. But you keep going.
Yeah, okay. What were we talking about? Okay, so the chronological order, the features that we got shown by NVIDIA. The next thing after that was, they were showing, I don't know if that was the next thing, but you know how they were showing the animations, how they had the guy and he was like monkeying around.
So Machinima.
Machinima, yeah.
Yeah, so you may know or not that long time ago in a galaxy far away, Machinima blew up as a YouTube channel where you'd upload all this stuff, and they had a lot of creators create stuff for them. Now, I don't follow it along, but the community is huge, and they use in-game assets to make little clips, shows. There's actually a full movie coming or is being made by fans based on Warhammer 3000. Maybe somebody in chat can...
Warhammer 40k?
40k, yeah, 3000. I don't know why I said 3000. Maybe
missing the other 37k.
So, I mean, this is great. And what it's... And you said in your stream, because when I was watching it, you're like, why is this great? But I was like, wow, this is fantastic. Because what it means is that people like you and me who are not developers or necessarily trained in like, how to animate a mouth or how to animate a skeleton. I did that at uni, but since then I haven't done it at all. And so the fact that they're creating a tool that can easily do that for you and do it in a way that any person with no specific skills can actually achieve these kind of animations is going to open doors for a lot of artists who aren't necessarily tech savvy, but it'll allow them to use these tools and create media content. And they will use NVIDIA cards to do so.
You know, the first thing, the reason why I was like, why is this interesting? I didn't realize that was giving it to the users.
Oh, right.
I was
okay,
oh my God, we are able to use this? Like, I thought like maybe it's going to be on their higher end quadros or something like that. But no, it's like, wow, okay, these cards give you the ability to give you these basic animations as well. Using, yourself and objects, inanimate objects and stuff like that. So I was really impressed. And then, so as we moved on with the NVIDIA RTX 3080 release, we got that marble demonstration. Originally, that marble demonstration, when it was on the 2080 Ti or the 2080, was on 720p at 30 FPS. And then we saw 1440p on this one with like additional lighting as well. Yeah. So massive improvement. What did you think of the marble demonstration?
So I saw it last year when they first showed RTX and...
Oh, so 2 years ago?
2 years ago, yeah. I keep thinking, because it's like generational, right? They haven't released one for a while, but it's the second generation of RTX. So when I saw it, I was like, this is amazing. This is fantastic. And the instant problem I thought was, oh crap, how many games are actually going to support it? And second to that, I saw the actual, 720p at 30 frames?
Yes.
Yeah.
30 frames.
I was like, wow, that's terrible. And then
janky.
I made a video about how the new RTX lineup is going to be really bad for RTX. Like, RTX is going to, chug. And people, hated that video. They were like, you're an effing idiot. NVIDIA this. And I was like, no, did you... the marble thing, they turned RTX on and it tanked. It's 720p at 30 frames. That was... anyway. So, the improvement of that generation was terrible. That whole last generation, the RTX 2000 series, was horrible.
Well, I mean, it's the first... It was the first presentation of RTX. It was the first inception of that technology. So we expected... Well, we should have expected
They
If there's
priced it
something
terribly.
new,
They brought out this feature and were like RTX, and then it tanked your frames, and you're like, well, I'm not going to use it.
Massively, yeah.
So finally, we're at a point where it doesn't tank. So I think along the lines of that Marbles demo compared to the one they saw this time.
Yeah.
This time around, I was just, well, I mean, you saw my reaction, but I was really impressed, and I thought finally it actually looks usable to a to the general public, like to use in their games.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of more developers will look at this and go, okay, finally, it looks like my game can use this, and we will add it to our game. So Witcher 3 is adding ray tracing to their game and releasing it on next gen. And if you already own the game, of course, CD Projekt Red will give it the update for you for free.
Yeah.
But, I mean, look, the Marble demo is an interesting demo concept. They weren't, they used to show like faces and stuff like that. This was really all about lighting. And I think the fact that it was running live was just, I was so impressed. Because, rendering like a movie and you can render each light ray, like frame by frame, and this was going live, and it's like,
yeah, because it was like every single marble was getting a reflection, and all the objects on that plane were reflecting as well and giving us shadows. So we were getting a lot of moving parts were happening. So it was impressive because you had a lot of physics going.
Yeah.
You had a lot of lighting and a lot of reflections. It was all happening all at once and live. So
one thing to add is that if they turned off the lights, everything would go dark. That's quite different than when you usually design a game. You add a color to something, and it's usually that color. And then you might add a highlight of a light from a just direction.
Yeah.
So this time around, the light and the colors would change depending on the light or the angle. That's really unique. And obviously, you have reflections, real-time reflections. A lot of games used to fake it by, like, let's say games where you're a first-person shooter and there's a mirror and you see yourself, like, running around. It would actually duplicate your character on the other side of it.
Yes, as opposed to reflection. Yeah.
As opposed to a real reflection. Yeah. And so that's why it'd be, like, you could come in from an angle and you'd never really see it, and you could tell something's not right. Yeah, and same with puddles. What they used to do is duplicate the whole scene, and then like re-render it half the like resolution and put it underneath. So when you walk across the puddle, it was just like, it's yourself, but you're really blurry and like pixelated. Because I don't even think it was half. I think it was like a quarter of the resolution.
Yeah,
because there's so much computing power to do so. So ray tracing when it first came out, like it doesn't add that much to a game. But now when it doesn't tank your frames, there's no reason to not have it on, and it's a luxury now. Well, it was a luxury back then, but I think now is like a staple diet of RTX.
Yes. I was so skeptical watching that entire presentation.
Really? Yeah.
Until we got to the point where it was like, oh, here's the cost to power ratio.
Oh, let me open that up.
When he showed us that.
I think I had it on here. Cost to power.
And because
sorry, I'm scrolling fast.
Because they committed so much to it. They were like, okay, RT cores, we're gonna push ray tracing, but we're gonna improve the hell out of it. That was a big shock for me.
Yeah,
and the fact that the improvement was so drastic. And when we saw that, okay, this is separate to the presentation, but recently they released that Doom demo.
Yes.
Did that have RTX on? I can't remember.
No,
now.
I don't think so.
I don't think it did, right?
I think it was just 20. I think it was a straight 2080 Ti versus a 3080.
Yeah, 2080 Ti versus the 3080, but it was 4K and it was running at like over 100 frames per second, which was insane. Okay, I think Digital Foundry's presentation where they had Control and they had ray tracing on, and they were saying how great the performance on that was. That was impressive. Because that initially tanked, but now it's like, oh, look, 70% improvement.
Yeah, massive. 70% is huge. We haven't seen a jump like that
since maybe Maxwell coming around, or before Maxwell.
There was one time where they released a card that completely shattered their highest end on I think it was like the 600 series or something.
Oh, right.
Or maybe 500 series. 400 series. It was a long time ago.
A decade ago.
Like decades ago that we had such a big change. And now I'm coming to think of it, the 1080 when that came out, and 1080 Ti, for example, was just, it was mind-blowing because it was priced well and it performed extremely well.
Yeah.
So we got the taste of this good price to performance with cards.
Yeah.
And they released the 2000 series, and that was just priced incorrectly. If it
think-
was cheaper, I think it would be better.
We got conditioned. I think this is what happened. We got conditioned to expect, oh, this is what it is now, 20 to 30%. That's what life is now with graphics cards.
Sure.
And when we saw this presentation, we were like, all right, 20, 30%, maybe 40 if it's awesome. And then they're like, oh, 70.
We've never seen it jump
and up
this
to
big.
90 maybe as well. Yeah. And so we were like, what? And then when we were waiting for the price reveals, we were also like, are you sure? But at the same time, it gives us the understanding that, hold on, they were price gouging so hard previously.
Yeah.
They were like making insane profits. But at the same time, maybe production is a bit cheaper now. But then again, it's like...
This is my answer to why, all of a sudden, pricing is better.
Okay,
This is my theory.
your theory.
It's not because of AMD. AMD's got RDNA 2, and
Yeah.
I personally don't think it'll be able to compete with the 3090. It might get close to a 3080 and be slightly cheaper, and then there could be something. It'll compete at the lower end, 3070, 3060, 3080. But Nvidia is going after Sony and Microsoft for the consoles. That's what they're going for. The consoles are priced at a much lower tier. Like, I'm not comparing price directly because you got to take into account that the card costs what? 3080 costs like 750 or 700, right?
The
And-
3080, 700.
Yeah. And then obviously, a console might cost the same amount or $800. You still have to buy your peripherals. The performance will obviously be better on the 3080, sure. And they can always say, for a similar price, like $1,500, you can build a computer that has performance that surpasses the consoles.
For sure.
But the price difference beforehand with the 2080, the 2080 Ti was so substantial that there was no reason for you to go build a new gaming PC, because the new consoles, the PlayStation 5 and and the Xbox X, was so much better for your money that you could actually go, you know what, this might be the time I change from PC to consoles. And they shut that down. They shut that shit down so quick with this release. Because a lot of people were probably on this fence going, okay, if I want to build a great gaming PC that's going to match this console that's coming out, and it's being touted as also ray tracing and stuff, I have to spend nearly $2,000 just on the graphics card to get that performance. And so Nvidia's like, well, we need to keep our gaming, PC gamers, because they're the ones that buy it. They're the enthusiasts who buy it. And so we don't want anybody switching teams. That's my thought. That is my thought.
I agree 100%. I feel like this was a moment of desperation to say, hey, oh my God, we are going to lose a massive user base here. Like, computer gaming is our thing. And if we lose that, it's basically game over. So because the consoles are coming out with extremely impressive technology, a massive boost, now that, yes, they will be using good CPUs, they will be using great GPUs, they will have SSDs, they will have everything that a good gaming PC has.
And it's more like a gaming PC every day.
Yes. And yeah, you're right. They needed to compete. And not only that, they need competitive pricing as well, because you've got your 3070 that starts at $500, which is the expectations of the consoles releasing as well. And not only that, but the 3070 is going to be a lot more powerful than the consoles as well. But there was one thing about the presentation that got me a little bit worried.
Okay.
It got me a little bit concerned. The amount of VRAM on these cards. The 3070 and the 3080. We got 8 gigabytes on the 3070, 10 on the 3080.
4K gaming doesn't necessarily require more than 6 or 7 or 8, depending on the game, obviously, unless you're super sampling. I actually don't think is the worst that can happen. But they touted 8K gaming on the 3090, was it?
Yes, and they had a whole bunch of gamers to experience it on the LGB9 TV, yes.
So my thought with that is that if you're buying the 3070 or 3080, you're not buying an 8K monitor 4K is the maximum that people are going to buy, and probably lower if they want higher refresh rates. So to them, they go, okay, this generation for the next 2 years, I doubt there's going to be monitors that are going to be 8K. I know there's 5K monitors from LG that are like for professional use, but not gaming. Like gaming at 4K is probably like peak. And we talked about this before. I think.
Yeah.
Like 4K at a distance of this with a size, maximum size of, let's say, 32 inches. Like this is large screens. If you go more resolution, it doesn't add any value. Just like if you go past like 150 frames to 200, the amount of like, what's the word? It's like depreciating value, whatever it's called.
Oh, right, yeah.
Diminishing returns.
Diminishing returns, yes.
So
yes,
you don't get as much from those extra frames. Same with the resolution. Like the only time you get them is a big screen, right? So, I think the VRAM's not going to be the problem, but people who are going to do workloads that require more VRAM, like 3D design, probably farming and shit, but Bitcoin, whatever
farming,
it is.
mining,
sorry, same thing.
Gotta get my hole.
So I expect those people to purchase and fork it out, but for gaming and the reason that for that price is because they reduced, like you said, but I don't think it's going to be a big problem. Like we saw Control running at 4K with above 100 frames, I think it was, wasn't it?
No, I don't think we've seen it yet. Like we didn't see the
Digital Foundries.
Yeah, but they said it was 70%. The performance was 70% more than the 2080.
Yeah, but it was more than 100 because 2080 was running at 80 or something, or like 60 or 80 or something like that.
Yeah, I think maybe. Yeah. I think it really did tank though with RTX on. Like it tanked quite substantially.
Might have to do a bit of an adventure and check on that. Yeah. I was just going to say, so POG, it's difficult to say, but let's not forget what AMD just did to the CPU market. Yes.
Correct.
But they've been doing this, they've been working on the on the CPU market. This is going to be the third generation. They haven't got a competing set of graphics cards from the last generation that did anything. Like the 5600 XT and the 5700 XT. Stupid naming, but anyway. Those were great cards on the bottom end.
Well, mid. Actually, the 5700
57,
XT
yeah.
bet the 2080.
Did it?
That's why they brought out the 2080 Super.
Oh, with the original, Gotcha.
This is why Nvidia had to be like, no, not gonna let you be second best.
No,
you're gonna stay third best.
Yeah. And then Hammy says AIM just killed Intel. Yeah, I mean Intel's in the shits right now. We'll talk about. There was the question earlier on between AMD and Intel, what sort of CPU to get. We'll try and answer that. And Yellow said, I feel like Nvidia is also making price cuts because of the lackluster sales of their 20 series cards. And it was because the reviewers were like, this is not worthwhile.
Yeah, they were bombing it.
I mean, stick to your 1080. Like 1080 Ti is sold out on eBay, like QuickSmart. And
if you have somebody like Linus that can sway millions and millions of viewers of purchasing or not, I mean, Nvidia's like, well, this is going to be massive exposure regardless of what we do here. So let's put out a great product. Let's put out a competitive price.
Yeah. 2080 Ti prices just tanked too, by the way. Secondhand ones are like, I don't know, like 1/5 of the price now.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. The prices are tanking and they haven't hit rock bottom yet. Like they're at like $400 or something like that. So they're
There's
below
ones for
the 3070 now.
Yeah. Isn't that like, I mean, people who bought, actually, do let me know if there's anybody who bought a 2080 Ti in the last month. Why did you do it? I mean, I don't think people. Why
did you do it? But we're very sorry for your pain.
I mean, we're sorry. I feel bad, but I mean, why did you? Maybe you just needed a card and you couldn't wait. I get that question. So
this is buyer's remorse to the max.
But that would be buyer's remorse. Yeah.
Speaking of earlier, you said about the 3090 and how the gamers got to see the 8K on the TV. So. So I actually watched a video about those gamers. So a few of those guys are actually from Funny Video Games. I think Funny Gaming or something like that, right? Yeah. So they're basically like they're made by the ex guy from IGN. He put a group together basically.
Right,
he has his own
gotcha.
crew. And they said that the 8K is actually 1440p super sampled, like upscaled basically.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's not native 8K because they said when it went 8K, it tanked. It went to like 15 FPS on the games.
Yeah.
But when they had, but they said, okay, Nvidia showed them, they're like, this is what 8K is, and they were like, whoa, amazing. And then they show them, this is what 8K is upscaled from 1440p, and they were like, I can't tell the difference. It looks the same. It's so
Super
good.
sampling,
the technology is so good. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's, I mean, that's what I said before. Like 8K is just not the target. Like you just, you can't run that natively, and there's not much. There's just no point for gaming for 8K. Like we don't even we looked at TVs from JBs and for 8K, it just wasn't that they weren't compelling.
I think that's like the caviar of gaming. You know, that's like ultra premium. You need like a 80, 90-inch beautiful Samsung 8K TV that can do like 100 frames. And then you need like a super duper system to support that. I think 8K gaming is far away, but now these 3000 series have shown us, and this is the 4K is the new standard.
Well, finally, they were saying it for
finally,
last generation.
Since 1080.
1080 was
Remember? They were like 4K gaming is here.
No.
And then I played Witcher on 4K and it was like 40 FPS, and I was like, oh, not quite as good as I was hoping it would be.
No, not for what the gaming community wanted. This is the first generation where you can actually say I can game at 4K with 60 frames.
60 plus.
60 plus. On any game on high. Because that's the thing. Like, people are like, hey, you can do it. Just lower everything to like medium and low. And turn this off and turn RTX off. And it's like, but then I'm not really experiencing the game, am I?
Yeah.
I'm missing out on a lot of stuff there.
Because it's not just the resolution. It's all those other details, mechanics that make a game shine.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those reflections. And
before we get more into it, because I'm really loving this conversation. I don't know if chat's talking about something else.
Yeah, they're talking about somebody
you guys
sleeping or something.
Keep talking about that. But they also released the streaming stuff about basically like the ability to remove the background.
Yeah.
Which you can do in Teams. Like Microsoft Teams does that, which is interesting that they only just brought it out. But anyway, the audio, which we get to use sometimes at my place for.
the RTX audio.
So good. Works really, really well.
3070 is going to be a popular card. Patrick said, 3070 is going to be so good. I agree. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, 3070 is going to be like their biggest seller. 3080 will be probably their other top seller. Like I expect the numbers to be very similar for sales. 3090 won't sell as much, but I don't think it's because of demand. I think it's going to be, I don't think because people aren't buying it. I think it's people going to buy it all out, and there's not going to be enough to sell. They're not going to keep up with demand. I think 3090 is going to sell like hotcakes.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that is the top end that is not going to be trumped
it's the
by
new Titan.
AMD. Yeah, it's the new Titan. So, okay. So, it begs the question, what is AMD doing? Right? What is AMD doing?
That is a good question.
This is what I have heard from other channels that say they have reliable sources. I believe some of them because yes, they have shown trustworthy information from the past.
Yeah.
And essentially AMD were waiting. They were waiting. They have architecture for these cards, but they don't have clocks that are set for them. They don't have frequencies that are like, yep, this is what it's going to be. That hasn't been set out.
So have They've got the die, have they? The chips and stuff.
Yeah, they needed to see the competition. Okay, what is the competition doing? Great. Now we can determine what frequencies we want to set this to before we put it out for production, before we do an unveiling. And I think at the end of this month, they are going to decide on that. And then probably late October, early November is when we're going to have the unveiling / release of the AMD cards, the RDNA 2. Now, there are talks, so the 6700, 6800, 6900.
Yeah, it's going to the 6000 series.
The 6000 series. So they're going to compete up to the 3080. They may have the 6900 will be a card that will be more powerful than the 3080.
Right. Okay.
So they won't have anything more powerful than the 3090, but this is when Nvidia will probably swoop in with their 3080 Ti or 3080 Super, whatever they want to call it.
It'll be a Ti. They're not doing, so they've said they will not be doing Super.
Yeah.
They will not be breaking down because it confused people. They came back and they're like, yeah, so we really confused the market. People just didn't get what was happening. And that was because they had like a 1660 Ti, they had a 1660, and then they had a 1660 Super that was better than the
TI.
like
It's
some
what are you doing?
stupid crap.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. So now
Oh,
they've
it's so
learned the
confusing.
lesson.
Yeah.
So they've done the 3090. They'll have a 3080 Ti. I don't think they're doing a Titan. I think the Titan is the 3090.
Unless they do a Titan and it's 48 gigabytes of VRAM.
Yeah, but then you're close to just you're close to like a Quadro card at that point. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, enthusiasts will want to buy the 3090.
Yeah.
You're close to it. You're close to a Quadro at that point.
And so they're talking about the 3070 Ti as well, which is going to
Yes,
have like
yeah,
16
yeah.
gigs, and the 3080 Ti is supposed to have 20 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
RAM, yeah.
I don't
High
like
performance.
them doing TIs. Like, they should do one TI at the top end just to, like, I know why they do it. They do it to beat the competition, right?
Yeah, and they just like, they fit in all the like blanks.
Yeah.
But then they have like 5% difference between every card.
Yeah, yeah. Which
Yeah.
is, it's ridiculous. I like, I get what the TI is for. It's there to, beat, you know, competition. But
Yeah.
if they add too many, it'll, again, confuse the market. I was going to say, the 3070, and we said before, is going to be the most, I guess, the most,
It's going to be hot.
yeah, it'll probably sell the most.
Hmm.
But I've heard, and I read today, and I don't know if it's true, but apparently the Founders Editions of the cards are not coming to Australia. We will only get
What?
third-party builders of cards.
The Founders Edition is not coming to Australia.
None of them, apparently. Not the 3070, not the 3080,
But they're
3090.
so good looking.
They're good looking. They're good looking.
So good looking.
So I guess that's a bit of a shame. I don't know how true the rumors are, but I hope they're not true because
I would want my 3080 to look like a
Yeah,
Nvidia's
like, it looks
design.
great.
It looks so good.
I don't like that. I like Asus and Pinya, whatever,
I know.
PYNO, whatever it is called.
It's
They
just
don't
like-
look that great.
Yeah, they just like sparkle and they have little wings and stuff and unicorn like horns, and I'm like, this looks so lame. This looks like a kid's carnival inside my PC. It's like I want it to look badass, like
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
I felt like those cards were like made out of Jensen's leather jacket, you know. This was like,
Yeah.
they look so awesome. They look like Armani designed them, you know, like they just look like epic.
Armani. Yeah, Armani
Yeah.
designed his dress up.
Yeah.
Look, I know it sounds really ridiculous that you say how the card looks because, you know, looks aren't everything and how it performs
Yeah.
is important.
Absolutely.
But, you know, the Founders cards, they also keep their value a lot
They
more.
do,
So,
yeah, they do.
yeah, Founders are known to sell for more on the market in general. So, also, one thing to add is if you want to water cool any of these cards, you will have to get a Founders one because all the custom cooling blocks will be made for only the Founders editions. But now, in the last two generations, in the 2000 series, they started coming out with more and more ready to go water cooling setup. So you just slip it in and connect the water tubes. So there's a few now selling as like completely ready to go water cooling system. So, you know, if it comes down to it, because I'm gonna get the 3090. I'm gonna be a dick and I'm gonna get the 3090. I know I shouldn't,
That's epic.
but I'm gonna do it because I just I don't know. I'm an idiot. But
That's
I
gonna
wanna
be elite.
I wanna see the performance of it, and I also want to play Cyberpunk at stupid resolutions and stupid frame rates. Like, I'm only doing this because of Cyberpunk.
Yes.
Nvidia should be thanking CD Projekt Red for making Cyberpunk because that's gonna sell a shitload of cards for them.
I bet you're on the same boat that many gamers are. It's interesting that Patrick says, yeah, Nvidia officially confirmed to Kotaku that there will not be any Founders Edition. That sucks so much.
How the hell am I gonna get a
Sucks so
3090?
much. Oh, you'll get one, mate. You will get the children's parade edition. I don't know, from
It's-
Asus.
You know what I wonder?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's another way to cut the costs down.
Is it?
Because manufacturing delivery is really expensive.
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
heavy.
yeah.
They're bigger
Oh,
cards.
they're big chunky.
And so,
monsters, yeah.
you know, Asus and all them have much better delivery systems, because it's just there's like laptops and all that crap, and they've already been doing graphics cards, and you've got Galax and all them.
Oh, Galax.
I've got a 1080 Ti Galax.
Yeah, it's like the Coles version of your graphics card. Galax.
But it's a Founders.
No, Galax are good.
Founders,
yeah,
but it's a Founders, but it's a Galax, and it's like they just go, "Hey, Nvidia, can I get one of those?" Yeah, cool, thanks. Sticker Galax. Here you go. That's all it is.
50% cheaper.
Yeah. It was cheap. It was like $850 or something.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with Cyberpunk, but I think.
Oh man, I am too.
I think a lot of us are for the last 7 years. It's just been getting worse and worse. And we're both Polish, so CD Projekt Red is a bit of a what you would call a.
We're paying our tribute to the motherland by buying this game. Yeah.
And Witcher 3 was an enjoyable game, so well, it's one of those things, right? So anyway, so that's what I'm going to do, but obviously because of the full Founders thing, and Patrick, you've ruined my day, but you've got the same name, so I can't really can't hate you for that.
It's like your future you typing to you. It's like Tenet moment, right?
Yeah. Tenet. Don't spoil anything for anyone.
Don't worry,
there's no
spoilers.
On Tenet, but it's a great movie.
So good.
Do you know what I found it?
I was just gonna say, like, the reviews that we gave it before we watched it. I think I gave it an 8. I want to upscale it to a 9.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna give it a 10.
Whoa.
Yeah,
okay,
I loved it. Yeah, I thought it was good. Actually, no, sorry, I'll give it a 9 because Interstellar was still a 10 to me. So I think it was just below Interstellar.
I think my expectations were a little bit low. Like I didn't know what I was getting into. And you probably won't either. When you watch it, you'll be like, what the hell is this? I'm still thinking about what the hell was that about.
And one thing to note, some people were complaining about not able to hear some of the conversations.
Oh, yes.
It's meant to be. They specifically mumble certain things for you to just not know what they're saying.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's an interview with
There's
Nolan.
a lot of reviewers complaining about that.
Turns out it's meant to be. You're only meant to hear certain words and certain phrases throughout the movie. And it gets clearer as it gets closer to the end.
Oh my
and
god.
you start and everything starts to sort of make sense. So
That is genius. That's Christopher Nolan at his peak. Like, I thought, honestly, reviewers were like, oh, this is a Christopher Nolan thing. It's like, yeah, but now that you've said that he did that purposefully, I'm like, okay.
Everything is done purposely. Do you really think a guy who makes these
who's a genius
billion-dollar movies would be like, oh, you can't really, like, he's in the editor's room going, yeah, I can't really hear that. Oh, don't worry about it.
We'll just put more bass.
Which reviewer, we don't review movies as a profession.
Yeah.
Which reviewer in their right mind would go, well, I can pick that up. Why didn't the sound director go to Nolan and say, Nolan, my man, my brother.
My man, brother, dog, yo.
Dear sir, almighty Nolan.
Yeah.
We can't hear these people. They're mumbling. And he'd be like, oh, well, I'm really angry that you brought this to me, so you're fired.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I'm going off topic. Well, I guess
Nvidia.
Nvidia. Well, the point is that he didn't do it, he did it on purpose. And by the way, the bullet sounds, like bullets shooting, I've never heard a movie that has captured it as realistically.
Oh my god,
Tenet.
yes. How epic are the gun sounds in the movie, in the cinema? It's like when they're shooting, it's like, oh my god, it's like somebody shooting near me.
Yeah. Was it double N for Tenet?
No, single N.
Yeah,
because it's a palindrome. It's forward and backwards is the same word. Yeah.
Yeah, and you figured out what the name means.
Yes.
Yes,
and I read a review about it, and they said the same thing that I said, and I was like, okay, I get it now. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff I was like, yeah. But anyway, Nvidia.
Yeah. Exciting times.
I've just put it in the chat what movie we're talking about.
Yeah.
So where did we leave off? Okay, so we've talked about the extra features that they're bringing in, machinima, the streamer stuff. I'm really excited for the streamer stuff. I think we'll start using some of that stuff.
I think so. Yeah.
We'll put cool ass backgrounds in the back instead of. We'll see what happens. Yeah. We'll see what the actual software is like, because OBS is really great for like streaming this sort of stuff. And I think as long as it's as customizable, we should be okay. Hammy says the movie's Mary Popkins.
Mary Popkins, yes.
Is that the R-rated version?
It's the sequel to Poppins. Yeah.
So we've got. Let's talk about pricing.
Money.
Australian pricing.
Okay, all right.
We knew a little bit about pricing before.
Yeah.
But what we didn't know is how cheap the 3070 is versus its performance.
So cheap.
So I want to open up PLE,
Okay,
and
so
we'll go
when
through
the-
some of the cards they have.
Yeah, we look at the prices. So when the 2080 Ti released, it was around $2,500, was it? Australian
Yes, it was like
dollars?
2,000, I think.
2,000 odd Australian dollars. It was insane. And now when we looked at PLE and we saw the potential price of the 3070 releasing, it was like 809 Australian dollars, I think it is. And that card is faster than a 2080 Ti. So
Yeah.
it's like 40% of the price of the 2080 Ti upon release. It is absolutely insane. It is probably going to be the same price, if not a little bit more, than the next gen consoles that were released in Australia, I believe.
The cards will just be
Yeah.
just over the next gen console.
So this is basically a means to shut down the consoles, but you do need other items to build a PC, and you'll end up paying a couple of grand or so. But I mean, that's the same if you're buying a TV for your new console.
That's right. So right now, the most expensive card is $2,500.
And it's the 2080 Ti.
It's a 2080 Ti by oops, sorry. Don't watch it; it'll flash randomly.
All right.
And it's $2,500, and it's a Ti, and it's 11 gigs of RAM, and it's I think it is overclocked a little bit.
Yeah.
It is now out of stock in Eastern States. I always look at the stock because it usually tells me if they're going to restock it at all. Because that usually means that they're just not going to bring it in because it's not selling.
Right.
And PLE has to be very smart because the longer you hold stock, the worse it gets in regards to trying to resell it later on. Then we've got a lot of TIs, but I want to get to the cheapest TI right now, which looks like MSI.
2100.
Yeah,
Sure?
2100.
That's so
No, 1900, here we go.
1950.
Yep, that's
Okay,
it.
1950.
1950.
That is so expensive.
So this price here, the $2,500, that's going to be the
Yeah.
price of the 3090.
So are they betting on the fact that people are very impatient and will actually buy these cards before the 3070 releases?
I don't know. I don't think anybody who's an enthusiast in the right mind right now would buy any 2000 series card. They would be the ones trying to sell it right now on Gumtree or eBay or Facebook Marketplace.
Because we got literally, 2 weeks when these cards are supposed to release?
17th is the 3080, and then the 24th is the 3090.
Oh, okay.
And October is the 3070.
Right.
So they want to, and the reason they did it, so they want to sell the most 3080s.
Oh, yes.
They probably have the best margin on that card.
Yes.
And they have a limited stock of the 3090s, but they know it's also going to be a very high value target. So those two first are going to go,
Yeah.
And those who can't wait, but would, so there's a couple of people, this is how I imagine it, right? They'll have people who can't wait for the 3070, but that's probably what they can afford. But they're willing to fork out a little bit more and buy the 3080 because it comes out earlier.
Right.
And that's why they're staggering it like that. So, and obviously there's a little bit of shipping and stuff, but more than likely they want to sell the most 3080s, and that makes sense because it's also it performs a lot better than all of the lineup. They've probably manufactured the most out of it, best margins.
Yeah. And this was that was the key seller on the whole presentation. It was 3080, 3080. This is the flagship. This is what you want to buy. And it's less than 1,200 Australian dollars as well, isn't it? So $1,140 or something like that. Yeah.
And Patrick Davis has brought out a good point. You're right. 3070 is going to mess up with AMD's launch because everybody will be like, "Oh, AMD's coming with the cards," and then all of a sudden Nvidia's like, 3070's out. Go, buy. So
Yeah. Buy. That's right. Yeah, I think that's probably why AMD will want to go early, mid-November with their...
Zan Bunny says, a stupid mate of mine just bought a 2070 Super 3 weeks ago.
Oh.
Pog, F in chat. Thank you. I was just about to say... Pay your respects in chat. But, I mean, it's pretty silly to do that. How much is a 2070 Super?
2070 Super?
$1,300, man.
Wow, okay. That's expensive.
12.50. Free shipping though.
Yay! So do you think? Oh, I kind of feel like Nvidia was a little bit embarrassed when they were talking about their 20 series. How they were like, "Oh, the Pascal, yes, amazing," and then it got to Turing, and they were like, "That was very challenging." Like he was just trying to cover it up. It was just damage control to the max.
Look. Yeah, you're just spot on. Yeah, I mean, it was damage control. Let's be frank, but they had to do it.
Yeah.
I guess my thoughts are I'm actually quite impressed that a company that size, even though they bummed around with the words they used and made it out to seem like it was such a tough time for me. Such a tough time. But, they admitted it.
Yes.
Like, we know they screwed up that generation. It was the worst selling and worst performing generation. It was, obviously overly expensive, but it didn't perform very well in regards to RTX, and that was supposed to be the flagship feature, and RTX itself wasn't polished enough, and not enough games had it. Like, 5 games have it now or something?
Yeah, I don't
and
know. Not
then
many.
And then the consoles came out and said, hey, we're going to build a console. It's going to be about between $0 to $1,000, and it's going to have RTX, ray tracing.
Ray tracing, yeah.
And Nvidia's like, oh crap. They knew about it. I mean, this has been in the works for a while, so they had to really do a lot. Like,
it's just okay. So we talk about how this is gonna blow up, like this is gonna destroy console gaming. Well, not necessarily. This has just confirmed to us that console gaming is as good as they keep advertising it is. Because they said, it's going to have ray tracing, 4K 60. And we're like, no way, no way. We saw the 20 series. The 20 series, tanked. But now we're like, oh, wait, hold on. The 30 series, it's just like ray tracing easy peasy, like over 60 FPS.
Yeah.
So yes, these consoles are going to be able to do some great stuff. RDNA 2 but this is RDNA 2 and 3 together.
Are they going to release the 3 at the same time, you reckon?
I don't think so. It has certain elements of 3. It doesn't have like all of them, but certain bits and pieces that it's going to help out the console. I mean, these things are optimized to be gaming machines.
AMD's CPU lineup has been amazing, absolutely amazing. And so, when you look at it, can they do the same thing with the graphics card business? Problem is, Nvidia is a lot smarter than Intel, and their game is graphics cards. This very specific niche, and I know Intel is a very specific niche, but I guess they have a lot more control of it. They set some of the market trends, like RTX and ray tracing was their thing. Like, they created it. Look, ray tracing has existed for years, but they did it for live, real-time ray tracing. So
yeah, they took it to a new level.
I was just gonna say, the reason consoles have caused this is because they caught up in technology and because of AMD. So AMD is the one who brought consoles into the next generation. Yeah. Literally, the most people use next gen. They use it in bullshit ways, but for once, the consoles are actually joining that next generation of gaming.
They're like the bleeding edge technology. Yes. It's like graphics cards haven't released yet, and they're like, well, it's gonna be what the graphics cards will be as well.
But I want to point out that while the problem with consoles is they get released every 7 years.
Yes.
For every, let's say Nvidia releases a new graphics card every 2 years, and let's say they keep this sort of pricing. By the time we get midway through the generation of consoles, they're going to be obsolete, again.
Well, this is they
will be
thing.
Because they're stuck at they're performing at a 2080 Super, right? Both, a little bit difference, but
yeah. So 20 around the 2080 and 2080 Super power. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, teraflops wise, absolutely right. What I think is unique in that scenario is that the consoles have so much time for optimization, which makes me wonder and question with PC games, how does optimization work in that realm? Because in the consoles, they're like, okay, we're 2 years in, we still haven't actually taken the best out of the most out of this technology. It's only 4, 5, 6 maybe years down the line where they make the most out of that hardware.
Yeah, but it's so too late by then. They're just barely keeping up with a little bit of
but it just makes you think that hold on, I have this 5-6 year old technology and it's giving me games that look better than PC games who are light years ahead. They're light years ahead. I feel like that's the big problem. That's what breaks my heart, Patrick, is that PCs have 10,000 times the power, yet the developers are not falling in line with that.
That's the only thing that the consoles have as an edge.
Yeah.
Is the fact that they can use the hardware from its bare bones. And, Microsoft tries to create closer and closer to the metal, as they say, DirectX. So DirectX is like the graphical interface API between your graphics card and a computer, right? So they're trying to make it better and better and more efficient, and I think DirectX 12 was a big leap. But a game has to be made on DirectX 12 in mind to use all those features. So you would have games that would perform better and better, and again, it's the same thing with consoles, as you develop it more, you get to know the system more and more and so on. There's a lot of aspects that this time around in the presentation, NVIDIA added features that we didn't have before that will make that process a little bit easier. So there's two sides to it. I'm just looking at chat. I'll get to that in a second, guys. Before I lose my train of thought, that train's just like...
Yeah, with the thoughts.
Yeah. They add a lot of things. So NVIDIA and AMD, they bring in like different ways of like DLSS, right? That's a feature that makes the look of the game better and your frames higher, and it doesn't cost the developer as much time to develop. They also brought in other things.
So good. DLSS.
Yeah, like DLSS.
Yes, so good.
And so then NVIDIA released in this generation that ability to connect directly to via the PCIe to an SSD and draw information straight away into the card's memory. You used to have to, and I know the details. I think it goes through the CPU or something, or through the PCI lanes. But I think this is like a direct thing. So this is going to be directly competing with the console's version of that direct, like fast connection SSD straight into the console.
Yeah.
And that's going to help with gaming. Like, you got to think about it this way. If there's features being added to a, like driver wise, it has to work for a lot of different computers, right? And consoles have it easy. They have one console. Every time you deploy it, it's going to be exactly the same. You don't have to like tweak it 10,000 times and then overburden the code to then try and work with everything.
Even more so when it's an exclusive. It's like, this is the one and only thing we're working with, guys.
Absolutely, yeah.
Unless there was like the Pro and then the Slim.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, well, there's two things now.
Yeah.
But then when they have the multiple consoles, like, we got 6 things now. Yeah.
But I would also like to add that the consoles are now much more like PCs, and developing for them is very similar to developing for a PC. So this is the other caveat here, is that when they develop games, developers make more money off consoles. PC gaming market doesn't sell as many games. They just don't. We have the best hardware, but we don't sell enough games. Consoles are cheaper and sell more games. So when a developer develops a game, they will develop first for the PlayStation or the Xbox or whatever it might be.
Yes.
And second to that will be the PC. Unless it's certain developers who do sort of all at once or specify for the PC. And those games are like the exclusive PC games, perform a lot better than any other game. They're like completely beautifully optimized and so on. But right now, we're in a generation where the game's development is so close to a PC, like the console development, that we will see better performing games on PC. I'm like 75% sure.
Yeah, doubt is sinking in.
Yeah.
I mean, there were cases where games are performing worse on PC than they are on console. And that's just, that sucks. Because it's like, well, hold on. I have the way more powerful hardware. How does this even make sense? And then it's like, sorry, the developers, we didn't optimize it right. Like, and it's like, come on, man. You're making it run on this crappy machine. And it works really well. Why am I missing out on this?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I guess we were talking about prices before, and I wanted to just continue on that conversation a little bit because so $699. I wanted to calculate this quickly, and I know we did calculations last time, but I think there was a few more things. $699 USD. If I would just do a quick conversion of $699 USD to AUD. We get about $960. So I expect this card to be about $1,200.
Yeah, because then we got last time. What did we say? It was like 10% tax and then 15% import.
Yeah. So I'm estimating about $1,200. So right now for $1,200, you can get a 2080 Super.
Oh, like that one? 2080 Super, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, 2080 Super. So for for the price of a 2080 Super, my question to you guys in chat is, would you consider a $1,200 card now with with this performance? Because remember, some people aren't upgrading. Some people might be buying it for the first time. $1,200 is still quite expensive for a card.
Yeah.
How much do you think? And this is a question to you, and chat will do its thing. But do you think the consoles will cost $1,200?
No way. No
You think it's
way.
gonna be lower?
I think so. Now that we see what Nvidia's capable of at pricing, the consoles are gonna be like $800.
I have my doubts
Australian dollars.
because if you remember when the PlayStation 2 came out, it was $1,200 New Zealand dollars.
Are you sure? Wasn't it like 1,000?
Pretty sure it's 1,200.
Oh, that's too much.
Yeah, we can try and search
that's crazy.
PlayStation
Yeah,
2
I
pricing.
thought it was like $300
release.
US dollars when it released.
Look, I'm trying to compare it to like, so 750 USD. Look.
In Australia. Yeah.
Oh, in Australia, right? So
Yeah,
750.
yeah.
So it was 1,200 in New Zealand because it was like 80 cents. Because it was 80 cents to
the currency exchange really
Okay, so
bad.
750 the PlayStation launched at. What did the PlayStation 3 launch at?
Oh, that was expensive. It was like $1,000. It was 600 US was that was the upper model. The lower model was like 500 US. It was $1,000. What's this? What are we looking at? Schedule.
Oh, sorry, the bloody
It's blocking my point of view. Okay, I'll look over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So oh no, this thing is like a minute behind anyway.
So it's $1,000.
Yeah.
It was $1,000 when it released. So PlayStation 3. So and then PlayStation 4 released for
$750.
when it first came out.
Yeah. Was it $750? $750.
$1,000.
Where? It released at $1,000 in Australia. Oh wait, no, that's PS3.
Well, I thought I put.
Whilst
4.
the PS4 around the $600 mark. See? Oh wait, no. Whilst
No.
PS4 would be somewhere around the six if it launched it.
That's USD again.
I thought it was $750.
$550?
No, what? That's so cheap. Did it really? Does
I don't
anyone
think it did.
recall
No.
Launching at
How much?
$549?
It says here it released at 99. Or is that still the PS3 it's talking about here?
Nah, it's talking garbage. I swear it was around the $700 mark.
Well, 399 was a USD, so let's just go 399.
$399
$550.
would be a bargain.
So $600 bucks. It would have been $600 or something.
Oh yeah, then add another like 20% on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, $650, $700 bucks.
I just think this generation.
That's what I'm saying, $800.
I think this generation is gonna be more expensive.
$800.
800. I'm thinking
800
1,000. Now seeing how much
Wow.
Nvidia can build a graphics card for, I think it's gonna be $1,000.
Okay, I think AMD is gonna have a graphics card that's gonna be competing with the 3070 at like $450 US.
Right. Okay.
And it's gonna be like 10% less powerful or something like that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Go through some comments because I stopped the chat for a second on my screen anyway. King of Soldier says, I just bought an Asus RTX 2080 Super Advanced 2 weeks ago for 1,600.
Okay, wait, hold on. Just going back to that.
Mm-hmm.
The 3070, it has 20 T-flops of power, right? That's like 2 PlayStation 5s, and it's $500 US.
Mm-hmm.
So I think seeing that, it's probably like $100 to $200 US for the actual GPU component. Maybe even less, like $150 US for the
economies of
GPU
scale will
component.
make it lower, but yeah.
Make it really low. So yeah, I think these things are going to be $500 US for a console.
You reckon?
I think so. They can't go higher than that. People will be outraged.
Have you heard any rumors of release dates of pricing or pre-orders?
Nothing. Only construction price of the PS5.
Which is
$470 US, I think.
So are you telling me that they're going to put it at $500 and only make $30 a console?
They're actually going to make a loss, probably, because of like exports and all that stuff.
They're doing it via air. They're delivering via air.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So King of Soldiers bought a card for $1,600. Man, I don't. Yeah. Why?
Wait, what? Didn't we see it was $1,200, the MSI one?
Oh, he must have bought a Asus RTX.
Oh,
one,
right. Yeah, the Super Turbo.
Like, did you not know it? Like, I want to know. Like, honestly, I'm not. I want to know why you did that. Yellow says they are planning to, I believe, which probably was something to do with what we were saying. Sorry, man. Why are the new GPs so cheap? I can't understand. Well, we're just if you sort of, I suppose,
backtrack the conversation. You'll see.
We're running out of time, but Pog says cheaper manufacturing techniques and to be competitive. Yeah, I think we didn't really talk about cheaper manufacturing.
Yeah, I would
techniques.
agree. Cheaper manufacturing.
Samsung, so they're not building the dies with TSMC. They have great yields and they charge a buttload. They also have potentially better performance sometimes depending on nanometers, but don't look at the nanometer of it because every single manufacturer does it differently. And so they went with Samsung. Samsung's yields are like what, 30%? 30%, right? So everything.
Oh, not 50?
That will be 50, but at the moment, last time I heard it was 30.
Oh, that's bad.
But let's say it's 50, right?
Okay.
The yields are 50%.
Yeah.
They gave Nvidia a really good deal, and from what we've heard, they gave him like a deal only for dies that are working. So TSMC, they go, you have to buy the whole die, and you just bin what doesn't work, but you get the die. But Samsung's like, okay, we're only going to give you the ones that are working out of that die, and you only pay for those. So
that's great.
That's why pricing reduced. And obviously second generation also brings a lot of just improvements on top, and so your pricing does go down.
Right. That really pushes Samsung to be like, we got to make every one of them work.
It does. But see, Samsung wanted clients. Samsung needs more clients for that department of their business because you don't want TSMC as the only silicon wafer manufacturer. You don't want that.
That would be a disaster for them. Yeah.
Because, we're looking at it from a consumer point of view. You've got Nvidia, you've got Intel, you've got, Tesla, you've got Toyota, all that, right? But then there's people who manufacture the parts. And most of the time, you've got everybody has options for a supplier. Yeah. But you look at wafers, it's like literally a handful. And I think Intel is one, TSMC, which have like beat Intel now. They're better at making chips than Intel. Yeah. And they obviously sell it to other manufacturers. So Patrick says, Yellow, I missed that one. So trying to compete with new consoles like classic sales in 20... Oh, yeah, that's right. That's the reason.
Correct.
Yep. Patrick says the integrated CPU, motherboard, and GPU on a console makes it so predictable and targetable for performance, whereas a PC can have any combination of parts, so leeway, they need a little overhead. Absolutely.
Limitless variables.
Yeah. Skipped. Mossad says, I just hope they didn't compromise something in there for that low price. And we talked about it. You mentioned it was the
RAM.
Yeah,
the memory. The VRAM, yeah.
X-Bunny says, how much better is the 3070 compared to my... Well, is that really a question? It's generations above, like...
It's interstellar.
Yeah. So King of Soldiers answered that question. Yellow, I've got head out, boys. Catch you later, bro. Sorry we missed that.
Bye.
Excited Bunny says, ciao. Ray, hey, mate. Good to see you. MSFS 2020 at 8K. That's Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Oh, yes.
Would have to be PC only. Absolutely. Australian tax, yes. King of Soldiers says, TechnoPat, go to NVIDIA's website. It gives you an AUD price. Does it?
And so did PLE. When I had a look, it was like $809, then $1139.
On PLE's website.
Yeah, I saw like a link to it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hang on. I don't see it on here. Ampere. Notify me, or is it?
No, not that one. I don't know. I found it elsewhere. But yeah, it was literally on the PLE website.
Oh, okay.
When they gave Australian prices. I was like, oh wow.
Oh, okay. So we completely missed that.
Yeah.
3090 is going to be 2.5. So I said that it was 2.5. Yeah.
Which is like the amount that the 2080 Ti was costing. Insane.
Kellen says, why do you need to replace your GPU? Not too bad, thanks. What card do you have currently? Oh, so these guys are talking amongst themselves.
Yeah.
So look, I think we've gone through a lot of stuff today. I guess we don't want to drone on too much about this, but
so jealous if you're buying a 3090. I want to play Cyberpunk and like ultimate visuals. As well.
And
you know what I'm afraid of?
What?
When Cyberpunk drops on the 19th of November, and the consoles drop around that time period, and what if there's no like upgraded edition or version for the consoles? Like, I don't want to be playing the PlayStation 4 version of this game.
No, you
This is
don't
gonna
want to
be
be doing
disgusting.
that. Yeah.
It's gonna be like 30 FPS with like giant. It's like gonna be Minecraft. Yeah, Cyberpunk Minecraft.
Callan says, "Oh my god, Pat, you pronounced my name properly. I hope I did. It might be my accent today.
Yes.
It was my last day at my last job, so I've just changed jobs. And Monday I'm starting a new job, so we had
Congrats.
drinks. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
We had lots of drinks last night at the pub, and it went a little bit overboard. I think.
Can't remember.
This morning I got up for my wife had a run, like a marathon run thing. So she goes, "Oh, can you come with me? Bring the dog, and sort of, drive the car."
Do the run with her.
And no, I was like, "I'm not driving the car. I can't drive the car, but I'll go there with you. I'll sleep in the car while you run, and I'll meet you at the end line." So that's what I did this morning.
Oh, well done to her. How many?
Yeah.
12Ks?
I think it was 10 or 12.
Good
honestly
stuff.
just
That's a good run.
unfortunately I'm awful. I didn't pay attention, but I said well done, and I sort of said, "Hey, well done, yay."
Oh, well done. And it's like the wrong woman running
Yeah.
by. Well
Oh,
done.
sorry, man. Sorry.
Yeah.
They're all wearing the same shirt too. The dog got confused. It kept thinking one of them was my wife,
gas.
and was having like she's just losing her shit. Like
oh, so many wives.
so many women that looked like mum.
Like mum.
Imagine being allowed to go to the pub. Allowed being. Oh right, yes.
Right. Oh yes.
In Western Australia, we are allowed to
Yes.
go to the pub.
We are. Yeah. This is COVID free.
COVID
Kind
free.
of. Not really.
Okay, so look, wanted to ask you guys is let us know in chat who is buying what. I'd love to know who what you guys actually think. Like, sort of the majority here, because us isn't really the best sort of test case, especially not me. Like, don't take anything I say under advisement in regards to what I'm buying. Like, I'm being stupid. Like, that is not. If somebody asked me, I would do not buy
Yeah.
the 3090.
You're just like.
Yeah, well,
Splash,
splash.
yeah.
But there is reasoning behind what I'm doing, which I won't go into now. But what do you think? Did anybody see in the live stream? I made a big Chungus meme, and nobody liked it. Like, I put it up on the on Twitter, and I got no likes. I'm like,
What was
oh.
the meme?
It was the big Chungus at the end of the video. Did you see me like photoshopping?
Oh,
online?
I saw. I was like, "What's that fat bunny?" Like,
Yeah,
when I was
it's Big
watching it.
Chungus.
I don't get it.
I haven't seen any other
Right.
3090 memes, but if anybody can link me to like a sub about it, I'll have a look and have a bit of a laugh. Adam said he sold his 2080 Ti. Hope I can get a 3080 reasonably close to launch. Integrated graphics aren't cool. No, they're not.
No, they're not cool, man.
And we've got Geordie's getting nothing. That's a shame.
Oh.
Kaylin went to the pub yesterday. Good stuff.
Well done.
Patrick says 37 probably. Yeah, cool. Very good.
Cool.
I think
Good car,
37,
good car,
3080. You really can't go wrong with either.
Yeah, can't go wrong.
And it's just going to be about price. Oh, Kaylin says 3090.
Oh yes, it's going the.
I'm not going to question you, man. Like, don't question me. I will question you.
It's gonna be the most epic gaming experience you can get.
Yeah, 3080 for POG. Yep.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? If I can't get the 3090, I will just buy a 3080.
Yeah.
I'll just have to do it. I'll be like, But,
But yeah, the 3090 will probably suck your house dry from power.
Yes, the power consideration. So they will, the 3090 will take 2 8-pins into a smaller 12-pin, I think, if you're getting the Founders, which we probably won't be. But then you've got the 3080s, which probably does the same. I think they showed it, didn't they? That they had Yeah. Zan Bunny says, I know the upgrade from a 1060 to 1070 is huge, but I just really wanted to know just how huge of a difference it is so I can get even more hyped about upgrading. Do you want to do the calculation?
All right, let's do it. Okay, so
So-
what is it?
Let's look up a 1060.
Okay, 1060.
1060, so it's a GTX.
Yep.
Adventure time right at the end here. So
Can we see the T-flops? Oh, okay,
that's what I'm
I
getting.
can-
That's
I
what
can
I'm
see-
doing.
Okay, just
I wanna
show
do-
me T-flops of 1060.
we're gonna do it by T-flops because it's such a big jump.
okay.
We couldn't do it. So
How many T-flops?
where is it? No, it's not showing up. Hang on. CUDA cores.
Maybe just Google be like 1060 T-flops.
TF floppies. Oh, it's redundant, isn't it? 4.3.
All right. Okay. So which one is he planning to get? The 3080.
The 80. Yes.
Okay. The 3080 has 30.4 or no 29.7 or 8. I
Right,
Think,
so if we
T-flops.
take
so it's around 30 T.
So let's say 30 divided by 4.
So it's like 7.5 times the power.
Oh wow, well done. That was
Yeah.
really good of you. Like I'm terrible at math.
So it's gonna be insane. It's gonna be like,
So 7.5 times. Okay, so that's more. That's times. So is that 750%?
I think it'll be like 650. Cause wait, 100% is like double, right? 100%
Yeah.
the power. Yeah,
So 650%.
I think so.
So if you are
Yeah.
if you are playing a game right now and getting 30 frames, multiply that by 650%. you are gonna
You're
get
gonna get
195 frames.
Whoop. But it doesn't work like that.
I know,
We're just messing around. It doesn't work like that. But
I
you're
know.
gonna be you're gonna be getting like 100 plus.
Yeah, because like at 30 frame, if you're playing a game at 30 frames and then you jump to like 150.
Yeah, frames.
Wow.
It's, yeah. it's
Also, I
gonna
want
be
to add,
nuts.
do not buy any of these cards if you're running a 1080p monitor.
Yeah, don't do it.
It just
man.
doesn't work.
Don't
It doesn't.
do it.
You
You
Here's
want-
something counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're playing a game and you want to get higher frame rates, don't lower your settings to low. Put it to medium or even high. And then because the card's like, oh, I'm working a little bit, getting warmed up, it'll actually perform better than if you put it all to low. Because then it's like, oh, I can clock back the voltage and I don't have to work as hard.
Yeah.
Because everything's not as, there's no requirement.
Oh, didn't think about that.
So
Didn't know that was a thing.
yeah, so there's this thing called voltage setting at different performance things, and
Yeah.
there's these little knobs you move around, and you can basically flatten it out. So
Yeah.
even if it's like low usage, it's still peaking, like max usage. So depending on the usage, it can still peak at performance rate. Sorry, I've been talking a lot.
Yeah, you're gonna have a great time. My God, going to the 3080.
We've got a lot of comments now. So Megapode says probably 3080 Strix, so from Asus, the ROG series.
Yep.
Is anybody going to try and water cool it? Because I've been considering it, but I don't think I will. I think I'm going to
that'll be
skip water
interesting.
cooling this generation.
And plus, the fans are going to be 30% quieter, but
Yeah.
that's the founders. I hope that the
Yeah.
developers, actually, the third party will.
They
be
always
even
make
better.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always have very good.
Yeah.
Asus always has good airflow.
Yeah.
Kellen says I'm not going to get a Ryzen 3090 50X. That is That's my build,
Wow, that's
man.
what this
That
guy's
is. I'm
getting.
actually. That is exactly what I'm doing. I'm doing
Yeah.
the 3090 3950X, or the 4th generation, so Zen
Yeah,
3. And I'm gonna keep my RAM at 32 for
Not
now.
60?
Well, I'd have to buy all for different, all new 4 sticks. I've got 2 at 32.
Right, okay.
And it says power doesn't bother me. I have a 1200 PSU, and
That will be sufficient.
yeah, that's plenty. King of Sorry was away last 5 minutes or so. We're just asking who's getting what.
Yep.
Patrick says the chart shows the other 1070 and 1080, so can approximate from that. It does too, didn't it? I didn't really.
Did it?
It was really small, and I didn't. Where did I have it? Oh, here it is. Yeah, look, 1080.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, look at that. You're going to have
Look,
close to 5 times the power.
but do you know what's funny? Look at the 2080 Super and the 1080 Ti just underneath it. Like that, the difference between
Oh my God, I know. That's
that
so small.
generation was terrible.
Oh, yeah, that's small.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Zen Bunny says 3070, not 3080. Cool. King of Soldiers says apparently Nvidia said Australian one. Yeah, we've talked about that. We won't be getting founders.
Yeah.
And Geordie says I need to pay my laptop back too. I'm guessing you got it on paying somebody back for it. Callan says 100% is the exact same as when he is getting now, but 200% is double. Okay, right, yeah. Adam says source. Yeah, Adam, there was a source below from Kotaku. So if you search Kotaku, I'm sure it'll pop up. I haven't checked the source, but I'm trusting you guys in chat. I don't know if I should do that, but Ray says I'm waiting for the 5000 series CPU and 7000 series graphics cards.
Whoa, 7000 series graphics cards. So
that's like years from now. You're
8 years
skipping
away.
a generation, yeah.
Oh, I think that's dinner.
All right, cool.
All right.
The 20 series was a public testbed for ray tracing. Yeah, that's fair. I get that. It was the first generation. Like at the end of the day, first generations are never gonna be the best. I mean, the first generation Teslas were horrible. Like they're just terrible. The manufacturing process of building every part for it was like not perfected and it was falling apart to pieces. So, you know, the battery is probably the only good thing in the engines. And that's all the questions. Unless you guys have anything else, we'll probably stop it there. Any final thoughts?
No, just save money, buy awesome cards, get ready for probably the best gaming experiences we've had in a while. I think this is a great time to be a gamer. This is awesome.
The generation that you can finally... I feel excited for the first time ever. The last time it was like the 10,000, the 1,000 series. So I was excited to the point where I bought a card.
Yeah.
20,000 series, I was disappointed to the point
Majorly.
where, what the hell's going on? Like, gaming's taking a bit of a backseat, and then COVID made it all more depressing.
Yeah.
But this time around, I'm actually excited to be a PC gamer.
Super excited.
Actually, it's also an exciting time to be a console gamer, I think.
Yeah, actually, yes. It's a very, very exciting time.
Yeah, it's not...
Yeah.
It's both sides. I mean, gaming is just going to be...
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins, man.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching. Hope you had a good time. Join us next week, if you can. I'll try and tweet it out and put it in the Discord. Yeah, the Discord link is in the chat somewhere, but you can also find it on my channel in there. I'll put the links in there. And, yeah. Catch you all next time. Bye.
See ya.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for all the chat. Oh, thanks, Ray. Thanks, Kellen. Thanks, Boggs and Bunny, Geordie, Patrick, Adam, and King of Soldiers and Bunny. Who else I miss? Did I miss anybody? Yellow, and Hammy. Thanks, guys. Good to chat to you all. Bye. Bye.